na ramoro chumena mataka ko ni rawone ni biba mataka ke misa ropo ni ana di sambulu bidang na sero gori sana churi kilo na moro chumai tuna sele ni sambula oyo Mr. Ben kelapa na magikira ni biba mataka moni chikira borombu kama na ono kene diwa ena bula FM
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, more Fijians for Australian Seasonal Workers Program. Lands Ministry looks at changing old legislations. And FBC secures World 7 Series TV rights. More Fijians can soon expect employment in Australia under the Seasonal Workers Program. Employment Minister Semi Koroila-Visau has revealed that a new agreement will be signed next week when an Australian ministerial representative is expected in Fiji. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
There are 109 Fijians currently working in Australia under the Seasonal Workers Program. According to the Employment Minister Semi Koroila-Visau, this number is expected to increase significantly with a new deal on the table with the Australian government.
My information and the advice from the executive in the ministry that this will allow more of our workers to go even up to numbers of hundreds and even thousands if there is a place available in Australia.
And this engagement is being recognised at the highest level, with the Australian minister expected in Fiji next week to formalise the arrangement.
They're progressing very well in Australia, and basically I think the preparation that has been done here in Fiji is the actual advantage that Fiji has, that the ministry is preparing all the workers before they depart Fiji to go to Australia.
Koroila-Visau says with the Pacific quota lifted under the Australian Seasonal Workers Program, this agreement on labour mobility between our states can only grow from strength to strength. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Fijian Constitution has enabled the nation to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals in order to strengthen climate change resilience over the years. Josephine Avula now joins us live from our Nadi office with more.
Yes, Jackie, this was highlighted by the Foreign Affairs Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola at the opening of the three-day workshop in Nadi today. This is a powerful meeting with top-level delegates from around the region attending and discussing ways to strengthen the fight against climate change.
Advocating on how essential child and adolescent health is crucial in the fight against climate change in the Pacific region, Minister for Foreign Affairs Ratu Inoke Kumbombola has indicated that Fiji is well on track.
Fiji has been proactive in incorporating this into our constitution, which is in line with constitutional benchmarks in some of the world's leading liberal democracies. The Fijian constitution provides a framework for the development of a modern and progressive state.
He adds that the Fijian constitution has major provisions guaranteeing a range of civil and political rights for the first time in Fiji's history.
Embodying the SDGs, these rights include the right to education, housing, food and water, health and social security, and environmental rights, guaranteeing every person the right to a clean and healthy environment.
Kumbombola also says strong Pacific leadership is crucial to ensure the full implementation of climate change resilience strategies. Also part of the workshop, Her Royal Highness Princess Zara Zaid of the Kingdom of Jordan has urged the Pacific Islanders to work together in fighting climate change.
That the voice of the Pacific is an urgent voice for action. Here we affirm, and I hope amplify, that voice as being for a peopled planet, and a call to action for and with women, adolescents and children, who are at the heart of our progress and our strength, on and for a planet that needs us to act immediately.
Funded by the Ministry of Health and UNFPA, the 3-day workshop will end at the Sofitel Resort this Wednesday. Josephine Vula, FBC News.
Member of Parliament Iso Tikoda today pleaded not guilty to the amended charge of failure to declare liabilities before the 2014 general election. Tikoda appeared this afternoon. His passport was released to him on 2 sureties so that he can attend a seminar in London in November. MPs Josefa Ndulaki Verata and William Ngavoka will surrender their passports to the court as the sureties for Tikoda's return. Moore says Tikoda's passport is to be given back to the court within a week after he returns to the country. The matter will be recalled for mention on the 14th of January 2016. The Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources plans to review a few of its old legislation and will be holding consultations with members of the public over the next few weeks. The first of such consultations were held at the Civic Centre in Suva this morning. Ellen Stahls reports.
The Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources says the old legislation are no longer relevant today and needs to be changed.
We've seen that some of our legislations are quite outdated, archaic, and still, they very much that they were developed in the colonial era, so they are not relevant to the time and age that we are in to support and necessitate the developments that we are going through.
The team plans to carry out consultations with members of the public at the major districts, which includes the Central, Northern and Western Division.
The ministry is using these consultations to also gauge from the public what they think of the intention to review Regulation 10, which deals with rent reassessment of state land leases.
Every 5, 10 or 25 years, we should do a rent reassessment. If we miss that, we do not have the authority to reassess. But it's unfair on the part of the landlord if we miss that, because the lessees will continue to pay the old same rate.
Other regulations which will also go through a review process are the Mining Act, Surveyors Act, Land Use Decree, as well as the new proposed Property Evaluation Act. And despite the low turnout in today's consultation, members of the public that did turn up found it useful.
And today I asked that people be treated fairly.
They will really, answer the question and no other things about the land.
The team will be meeting with members of the public at Nasole Methodist Church at 10 a.m. tomorrow. At the end of these consultations, a report will be presented to Cabinet in December for consideration. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Negotiations are continuing with the union representatives despite their disagreement with the joint ILO report. Employment Minister Semi Koroi Lavisao says even though only one union signed the joint report, along with government and the employees' representatives, his door remains open.
I have communications from Felix Anthony that he is arriving on Thursday. I will have to update the Prime Minister on that and then get advice on how to approach the issue when Felix Anthony is here. There's a lot of goodwill that has been established over the last week, and I hope to go over the line with the union after the discussions that we've had in the last week or so.
Koroi Lavisao will lead Fiji's delegation, which will leave next week Monday for the ILO's governing body scheduled for the 11th of November. Still to come on FBC News, Westerners get major climate fight boost from WWF.
मेरा चांद मुझे आया है नजर ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर छाया है नशा मेरे आंखों पर ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर रह जाए ना प्यासा मेरा प्यार मेरे बाहों में भर दे मेरा यार ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। है दोस्तों, मैं हूं जितेन शांडिल। आप रात के बाद हमारे साथ अब रफ्तार प्रोग्राम में 3 से लेकर रात 7 के बीच शामिल हो सकते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।
People of Nailanga in Ba and Nadula in the Yasawas now have access to technical assistance in adapting to climate change. The Worldwide Fund for Nature and the Pacific American Climate Fund have started projects for ecosystem maintenance and resiliency. Julie Vatwaliwali with the story.
Focusing on adaptation, agricultural best practices and standards for food security, the program hopes to leave communities better able to cope with climate change.
We have seen in the past that the communities in Ba and in the Nadula and the Yasawas are vulnerable to the impacts of climate change in this climate change regime. So we'll be trying to implement activities that try to build resiliency or how people are able to adapt.
With fundings from USAID, Nailanga in Ba and Nadula in the Yasawa group will be assisted in managing ecosystems which are a source of food security and better health. Project manager Vinesh Kumar says they'll also work on improved governance and sustainable resource management.
Ba is prone to climate change disasters. For example, flooding is very prone to flooding. Now we'll see the drought conditions, the prolonged drought. So Ba is an area that is impacted by climate change activities. Also, we are focusing on Nadula because in the Yasawas there is water shortages.
U.S. Ambassador to Fiji Judith Safkin says the United States is ready to help more communities in the future.
It's a combination of, the vulnerability, the need for the assistance, but also the organization that's submitting it. If they're able to articulate a very clear plan that seems like a very viable plan to be successful in their project, then they were, given the award.
The grant is worth about $1 million handled by WWF Pacific to protect threatened ecosystems in Ba and the Yasawa group. Julie Vatwaliwali, FBC News.
LICI celebrates 60 years of service to the people of Fiji this year, and to mark the occasion they've joined hands with the Ramakrishna Mission in the hopes of providing better services to those who need it most in our communities. Non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, stroke, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases and diabetes is the leading cause of deaths in Fiji. Life Insurance Corporation of India today handed over $10,000 to the Ramakrishna Mission in support of their free NCD screenings for Fijians program.
The percentage of the population that is suffering from the NCD is quite huge, and as a commitment towards the corporate social responsibility, as our contribution towards the health sector in Fiji and towards the well-being of the people in Fiji, we are taking the small step of having a tie-up, joining hands with the Ramakrishna Mission, and we hope that this tie-up would result into a better health for many of the people.
Dar says the corporation is dedicated to serving the people of Fiji in the best possible way, and this is just one of the many initiatives they are proud to be part of. LICI and the Ramakrishna Mission have been in talks with the Ministry of Health on how they are able to assist the ministry further in their work to reduce the impact of NCDs in the country.
So this is going to be a pilot project, and we'll work very closely with the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education also. So this support that is coming from LICI is going to be very useful because we need resources to do this charity work.
They now have medical units at Vunimono High School and Saraswati High School, while medical professionals and administrative staff go out to the communities every day, providing free NCD screenings. They are also working closely with the McCoy Health Centre due to the high volume of people that frequent the place.
So every assistance in any form is welcome because it's a very huge problem and has to be tackled at multiple levels. One of them is screening at the ground root level, assessing the risks, counseling them, managing it in such a way that it doesn't escalate into a serious problem where they have to go to the main hospital for something more serious.
NCDs currently account for 40% of healthcare in the country. Resilience to disasters and emergency management will top the agenda at the 5-day Pacific Regional Resilience Meeting in Suva. The outcome of the 5-day meeting will be considered at the COP21 meeting on climate change in Paris next month. Julie Vatwaliwali has more details.
More than 800 participants gathered today to discuss the challenges of improving disaster management. EU Pacific Ambassador Andrew Jacobs says this is an opportunity to examine how to implement the framework for disaster risk reduction.
The European Union is working very closely with the Pacific to try to ensure a very, very strong agreement in Paris that will really mean legally binding emissions targets that will really have a positive effect in reducing the negative effects of climate change.
The Pacific is seen as vulnerable to natural disasters, perhaps more now than ever before because of the effects of climate change. The SPC Geoscience Director, Professor Michael Patterson, says it's all to help individual communities be proactive in preparing for disasters before they happen.
To find the communities which are examples of some of the key issues, whether it be coastal erosion, whether it be drought, whether it be flooding, whether it be earthquakes, whether it be tsunamis or whatever.
The meeting ends on Friday. Julie Vatuwaliwali, FBC News.
The Mineral Resources Department confirms people will be allowed to use fireworks from 5 p.m. to midnight on Diwali Day, which is on the 11th of November. With all other days, people are only allowed to use fireworks from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Department Senior Technical Officer Onisimo Fonmanu says there is a temporary import ban on Roman candles. However, the shops which still have the Roman candles in stock can sell it, but no new stock is allowed to be imported. Meanwhile, police will be monitoring the situation closely leading to Diwali. Form 7th examination started today for Year 13 students who sat for their chemistry exam this morning. Shriti Prasad has more.
Time has arrived for Year 13 students to take their best shot at their exams, which will play a part in determining their future. Students at Jainarayan College say they found the paper easy and are looking forward to their results and pursuing their tertiary education.
The exam today was very good. Paper was easy, just like we have prepared for the past few terms and weeks. It was easy.
All in all, the paper was excellent. It wasn't actually what I expected to be, but hats off to the Jainarayan College for preparing us for an external exam that I know that we will actually pass with excellent marks.
I thought that the exams were really tough, but overall it was okay.
I had courage in myself that I can do it, and now I'm feeling good about it.
A total of 7,589 students across the country are taking the Year 13 examination. Vice Principal of Jainarayan College, Gioni Madawa Koroi, says they are looking for excellent results as they have received in the past years. He says his teachers push students to have good grades.
The teachers are very capable. They have been doing this year in, year out, so it's nothing new to them. So we are looking forward to at least having the same kind of result, or even better off than the standardized examination.
Students will sit for the English exam paper tomorrow. The exams continue with the final paper on physics next week, Friday. Shriti Prasad, FBC News.
Sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening in sports. After the break, FBC TV confirmed to broadcast live coverage of World 7 Series. And the Wallabies overcome Argentina to book its spot in the Rugby World Cup final. This and more coming up.
Imbula bina na turanga na marama na turbugi ngone lewa. Imbula bina rangone. Kanu itaki ni marata itiron de bibingomi na bio liba ni Radio Fiji 1 na bai viti na bonga ni bianu yana. Oya upio ratuanga na mni dawn bengravi. Na makia mo na kita tiri karua mo ni tiki na barumbuka. Ene wasini ngono baru taki kilo mani koro ilutu na karomo.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation will once again broadcast live coverage of the HSBC World 7 Series. Last year was the first time for FBC TV to broadcast the event live, and the response from its viewers has motivated the company to continue with its coverage again this year.
Looking at last year, we had a successful year, and this year we took initiative to bring this coverage live once again. and this has been made possible by all the sponsors that came on board last year and assisted us to show the event live. So once again we request all the sponsors to come forward and help us to achieve our objective.
Now, this season is crucial for all teams as the Olympics follow at the end of the series. The first tournament on the calendar is the Dubai leg, which will be held on the 5th and 6th of December. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team are the current World Series champions. A late flurry by Tambadamu could not help them win the Central Coast Sevens final, losing to Aussie Thunderbolts 31-21 in Australia yesterday. The side could only manage 3 converted tries against the shadow Australian national side. Yamadia took out the plate title, while Telecom Fijiana thumped Sydney Rams to win the women's plate title. Former Fiji Sevens captain Setefano Vakau skippered the Tambadamu team at the 2-day tournament. It's going to be a Trans-Tasman final at the Rugby World Cup this weekend. The Wallabies overcame Argentina 29-15 in the semi-final this morning to set up a first-ever World Cup final matchup against the All Blacks. Tsale Ndawakadaka reports.
Wide and really stretched the Irish in the early.
The Wallabies put on a masterclass first-half performance in the semi-final against Argentina to rack up a 19-9 lead at halftime. Rob Simmons scored a try and winger Adam Ashley Cooper added 2 more.
Rob Simmons! Here's Foley then. Cut out here for Ashley Cooper. Straight for the line!
It's all part of, you know, the way we want to play the game. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We didn't score against Wales. I think, like you've seen, because the results are still close, even though we're getting tries, it's not always the magic formula either, you know.
Argentina fly half Nicolas Sanchez kept the Pumas in the hunt with 5 penalty goals. Ashley Cooper secured his hat-trick after this sublime break by fellow wing Drew Mitchell. Curtly Bill made an impact off the bench after coming on for Matt Giteau in the second half, and Chika was also happy with Israel Folau's return from an ankle injury.
There's an opportunity there to bring him on, and I wouldn't hesitate, even though Matt's a very important player in the side, obviously. Israel, the plan was he was always going to fatigue a bit with his ankle towards the end, but he got through 60 good minutes, so that will be a bonus for us bringing him into next week, getting that match fitness under his ankle.
The Wallabies and All Blacks are now equal with the most World Cup final appearances of 4 each. Both teams have won the Webb Ellis Trophy twice, and the winner on Sunday will have secured the coveted prize a record 3 times. Should the All Blacks win, they will become the first team to win the title back-to-back. Tsale Ndawakadaka, FBC Sports.
And you can watch the Rugby World Cup final live right here on FBC TV on Sunday at 5 a.m. Fiji snooker champion Jiten Prasad claimed the Open Tournament final at the Merchant Club in Suva yesterday. The national number 1 ranked player beat Deepak Jairam in the final by a convincing 4-1 margin. The 2 Nausori Club players beat the Prasad brothers Sahil and Rahil in the semi-finals. Jiten, Sahil Prasad and Pritesh Khatri will represent the country in the Oceania Championship in Sydney next year. The next event on the Fiji Billiards and Snooker Association calendar is the Pile Garments Champion vs Champion National Tournament on the 14th and 15th of November. Finally, in the English Premier League today, Liverpool was held to a 1-1 draw at home by Southampton. Meanwhile, Manchester City, who were held to a goalless draw by Manchester United, still lead the points table with 22 points after 10 rounds. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
It was a historical moment for the Nandi International Airport when first ever Boeing 7879 Dreamliner touched down on Saturday morning. The New Zealand 7879 Dreamliner made its inaugural flight to the Pacific, with Fiji being its first destination. The aircraft has a capacity seating for 302 passengers and includes 18 business class and 21 business premium seats. Airports Fiji Limited Executive Chairman Faiz Khan says, having witnessed the seating configuration and latest gadgets inside the plane, their New Zealand Dreamliner will add a new dimension to passenger experience. The Dreamliner came from Auckland, was here for about 3 hours before leaving again for New Zealand. had another day of great weather across the country. In temperatures, it was hot and sunny in all the major centres, with Lambasa hitting the highest at 33, while Suba was coolest at 29. Tomorrow, the beautiful sunny weather will continue with a slight chance of morning or evening scattered showers. And the further outlook is for Wednesday. Easterly winds could bring some showers to eastern shores, otherwise more great weather. At sea, it's easterly winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate to rough seas. Recapping the main stories tonight, more Fijians will soon be heading to Australia under the Seasonal Workers Program. Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources plans to review its old legislation, and FBC has secured TV rights for the upcoming World 7 series. Our poll question results from last week. Should South African diplomat return to Fiji to face charges for an alleged fatal accident? An overwhelming 95% said yes. This week we're asking, are you happy with the 7 hours given to use fireworks on Diwali Day? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.